Hello all! As you might be able to tell from the last few videos, I was hinting at a viewer analysis series, and now it's finally coming to take place. So guys, our viewer analysis series has started. It'll be just like our GM game analysis series, except this is you guys, the viewers, with your games that will be analyzed on this YouTube channel. If you would like to send us some games, be sure to send us an email with the link of your game, and you're all set to go. That's it. Right? Simple and easy, though there are some guidelines. 1. The game must be longer than 20 moves. 20 moves or longer. Maybe if it's a bit shorter, depending on how good the game is, it'll be fine, but that's a general rule. 20 moves or longer. And it should be in a rapid or classical time control, meaning it should not be like you and your opponent have 5 minutes each. You and your opponent should have at least 60 minutes, but for a classical. But if it's rapid, probably 15 minutes is fine. Try and submit your best games or games that you just need help analyzing, and we'll make a video like this if possible. Now guys, this is our very first viewer analysis game, so let's get right to it. Now let's get started. Okay, the game starts out like this. D4, G6, C4, Bishop G7. Right away we need to note that this bishop can be very strong later on. Let's say if we move d5 and we open up b3 and stuff, there can be lots of threats on this rook, and this diagonal can be very powerful. But now we have e4, d6, and then this is called the modern defense. And then we have knight f3, e5. Black right away is trying to attack in the center. Well, as we can see, white center is very strong, so black is trying to strike in the center and gain some counterplay. This d4 pawn is hit, and if takes or something, we have a bishop and pawn protecting. But now we have knight c3, knight c6, bishop e3. This is all development, but bishop e3 is played here to protect this d4 pawn. And then we have bishop g4, pinning this knight. Maybe later g4 pawn can fall. But then we have d takes e5, knight takes e5. We have this so that there won't be any more trouble on this d4 square with the pin on the knight and everything. But now as we can see, this knight is hitting this knight, but this knight can't take this knight because the bishop takes the queen and everything is pinned. So now we have a nice move from our viewer, bishop e2, and then that is played so that this knight on f3 doesn't get too overloaded and the position collapses. Then we have bishop takes f3 and g takes f3. This move is played so that if bishop takes f3, for example, then it can go knight takes f3, and then even after g takes f3 or queen takes f3, white doesn't have the double bishops. Later on in high-level play, we want to have the double bishops, as they are very powerful. It's called the bishop pair. And here, white does not want to trade off his bishop pair, so he takes with the g-pawn. And then we have knight e7, queen d2. This is played so that later on we can play bishop h6. And then you might be wondering, didn't you just say we don't want to trade the bishop pair? That's correct, but in this situation, bishop here, and after bishop takes and queen takes, we have lots of kingside attack potential. Maybe later with h4, h5, and then castles queenside, and then bring the rook over and just destroy the king. Okay, so now we have h5 right away. This stops the bishop h6 idea, because if bishop h6, then we can simply have bishop takes h6, the queen is under attack, and if we play queen takes h6, we have rook takes h6, and white is completely losing. So now we have queen d7, probably preparing to castle. Now black is very lenient, because black now can castle both ways. And now we have f4, nice move, trying to attack this knight, and the knight will then get kicked out of the center. Then we have knight to c6, c5, what a move! This may not seem like the best move, but clearly it's a really good one. We have c5, right? And then you might be wondering, why can't I just take here? But then it's, uh-oh, you just blundered your queen. And this queen and rook work very well together. Here, white is using the advantage of a pin by playing c5. Now we have rook to d8, and then we have c takes d6, c takes d6. Now, this pawn is very weak. It's called an isolated pawn, because no other pawns can support it, which is very sad. But this is really good for white, since later on this can be a target in the game. Like moves such as maybe knight b5 in the future and attack this d6 pawn will be very critical. And now let's say we have rook hg1, possibly pretending, well, not really pretending, but slowly eyeing this king side. In case the king castles here, there'll be lots of different threats. Uh-oh, I sent some trouble after this. We just said if the king castles here, and now this doesn't seem so well. f5. Uh-oh. So now, this pawn here, it may seem like you can capture it, but this is dealing significant damage to the king side. Remember, it's not always about material, right? As we can see, this f5 pawn could be given up. It's not even free. F takes, pawn takes, knight takes, and then we have bishop takes h5, and maybe after knight here, we can take with the queen, queen here, and then we have threats here. Let me show that. So let's say we have here, 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 and then we have here, and then let's say knight takes or something. We can play queen takes, and we can maybe play queen g3 later on and attack this, and it's just much easier to play with the white side. But after f5, we have king to h7, bringing out the king, and then bishop takes h5. Boom! What a move! Remember, guys, it's not always about material. Here, white is sacrificing a whole bishop to just attack the king. A whole bishop, right? Well, keep watching. G takes h5. Boom! Rook takes g7, sacrificing another exchange. Oh my gosh, what is this? There's a saying which actually goes, sack, sack, mate. And this is exactly what white's doing here. Sack, sack, and mate. And then we have king takes g7 and rook g1 check. And the game is over. King h7 and queen to d1. Completely winning. This h5 pawn will fall, and everything is just horrible for black. So this is it, guys. GG. Very well played from the white side. Took advantage of some slight errors from black, and slowly but surely proceed on with his plan. Didn't rush, and at the end found two brilliant moves to secure the win. Guys, if you like this type of content or if you want more, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are so close to 100 subscribers. We can do it. And make sure if you want to submit one of your games, and they can be featured in a video just like this. Well, guys, that's all from me now. I hope you enjoyed our very first viewer analysis, and I hope to see you soon.